Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we will start with this meeting today. Thank you very much. I welcome you to this new kind of talkings that we will have from the university. This time is with more culinary profile. So thank you everyone for attending this talk. I will be accepting people all the time. Charles, for the ones that already are on in this meeting, first of all, I would say to everyone that I will be registering this meeting. There will be the recording, so then we can find the whole conversation on the website of the university, on the webcast channel of the university. So you can take a look there. So very briefly, I will introduce myself for those who doesn't know me. My name is Martin. I'm running the part of the kitchens of the University of Gastronomy in Pollenzo. I'm running the project of Tavole Accademiche. Tavole Accademiche essentially is the canteen of university where we prepare the lunch and the food for all the students and the university community. But it's not really only a canteen, because we have many initiatives and projects behind. One of it is we have guests all the time sharing with us the cooking and their own history along the year. We have a guest chef calendar, and sometimes it could be a producer, or sometimes it could be somebody's grandmother cooking with us. we really like sharing and showing to everyone what the world of food involves. So at this very, very special time, we somehow wanted to keep on going with this kind of meeting fields that we have at Tavole Accademiche. This is a huge meeting point. So we've been designing these meetings, inviting people also to talk and to show their their video recipes. We're going to cook together to do the video recipes. I think we also have a chat online. So let me know everyone is hearing well. Everyone, I mean, everyone is going well? Really? You can chat at any time. And in the meanwhile, we are going to go on with the chef. You can write your questions that we will reply. So this very, very special and the very first talk that we have, we're very glad to host the chef Alessandro Grano from La Fromagerie from London. We were very lucky last year because we had the chance to host him, and during the last cheese edition in 2019 in Tavole Accademiche in Pollenzo, and was a memorable. It was a beautiful dinner. I mean, we saw that everyone was so grateful of that dinner. we had so much joy cooking together and offering. So thank you very much, Alessandro, for your time, for sharing this with us. I will ask you, how about you telling us in a few words about your origins, your history, and your way in the culinary world, and how you arrive to La Fromagerie, and how you became so passionate about cheeses. Sorry, let me check, Alessandro. Yeah, now I think now I saw. Okay. Yeah, sorry, yeah.
Okay, welcome everyone, and my name, as I mentioned before, my name is Alessandro, and I'm the head chef here at La Fromagerie. I'm from Puglia, so South Italy, but I'm living here in UK for 20 years now, so I'm more Londoner than Pugliese now. I started my career when I was very young. I was 16. I done my hotel career school. I work around Italy, and after when I was at 21, I moved here in UK. I used to work before in a big five-star hotel, so very different environment, very corporate, and it was a little bit not really what I was looking for. And 8 years ago, no, 10 years ago actually, I started to work for a cheese shop here in London, and I didn't know anything about cheese at that moment, especially about the British cheese. I thought they were like the plastic block that you could find in the supermarket. And when I tried for the first time the British cheese, it really was a big wake-up call for me. And since then, I love all sorts of cheeses. And just as you know, we are here, I would like to present you two of the most, let's say, my favorite British cheese. And also we're going to do a small recipe, a quintessential cheese recipe. It's a Welsh Rarebit. It's, let's say, it's a posh cheese on toast. But I would like to present you first of all our two cheese that I'm gonna do today, my Welsh Rarebit. So the first one, it's this one under here. It's the Montgomery cheddar. So at the moment here in UK, we got only few producers left making farmhouse, Somerset farmhouse cheddar. This one is also a Presidium slow food. And I don't know, just quickly talk about what is a cheddar and is make. Cheddar, it's a typical made as the word, let's say, cheddaring, and is stacking this big pile of cheese one top and change it. And this one makes all the way come out from the cheese. And also another particularity of the cheddar that is wrapped in a cloth. This one helps, first of all, for the maturation. So the cheese is nice and moist. It doesn't lose excess of the moist. And also because during the process of the maturation, all the bacteria that are working inside the cheese, they prepare, they make some gases. So the cloth helps the cheese to stay intact. And Montgomery cheddar is one of my favorite one, as it's got a very rich, creamy flavor, slightly nutty, acidity, and is very nice, well balanced. And also sometimes you can find on the cheddar some blue line, like if you can see from here. So this one is perfectly fine, and it's not that the cheese is bad or not. It's just because during the process of the maturation, so when the cheese monger change the cheddar ups and down in this way, sometimes it can happen some small crack, and in this crack they get some air and some natural mold, but they are perfectly fine. Some people actually they like to have a little bit of the mold in the cheddar, or if you don't like, you can just remove it. And also I got another great British cheese here. It's the Lincolnshire Poacher Double Barrel. So double barrel is just the type of the age of the Lincolnshire Poacher. And the Lincolnshire Poacher, it's very similar to a cheddar, but the taste is completely different as they use a Alpine starter. So this Alpine starter gives to the Lincolnshire Poacher this beautiful, nutty, fruity, slightly pineapple flavor. It's made similar way as the cheddar, but as it's called double barrel because it's mature for 2.5 years. So this cheese really great flavor with a very long finish. Instead, this cheddar, it's aged around 18 months.
So, sorry, let me ask you, Alessandro, just about the cheddar. Someone is asking, because you mentioned that it's involved in a cloth.
Yes.
And somebody asking what is the function of keeping the cheese on the cloth?
On the cloth, yes. Yes, so the cheese is wrapped now. They got, unfortunately, because before we cut, we remove this cloth, but you can see already there's still a bit of this. So the cloth, first of all, help the cheddar, the whole wheel to be intact during the maturation, because as all the bacteria inside the cheese, they start to work, and they release gases. These gases sometimes they can break the cheese. Instead, the cloth keep nice intact, and also help the cheese to don't be to keep nice the moist inside and to don't dry out too fast.
Perfect. Yeah. So I guess we can go right away to the recipe. If you give me just 1 second, I will share my screen to with the description of the ingredients. So
yes,
as
but
recorded, someone can take a note of
write it down. Yes,
even later. And in the meanwhile, I think you also have your own YouTube channel, really. So
yes.
Yeah, for
it's
those
La Fromagerie Chef,
yeah,
where there are all the video with exactly step by step, and also it's Patricia Michelson there. So if you want to really know about more the cheeses, about the recipe, you can check over there to get more details.
Perfect, that's wonderful. Yes, to dig into more recipes and to continue on the cheese world. So these are the ingredients. I don't know if do you think about mention them?
I'm gonna mention it.
Yeah.
So it's very easy, and apart to have a very good great cheese, because this one they're gonna give the base, the richness and the taste of the recipe. You will need a good quality stout or porter. I use porter or stout because they got a beautiful caramel flavor, nice and sweet, that balance very well with the cheddar. So for the recipe, I'm using 20 grams of butter, and I'm putting melting in a pan. And also I'm adding 20 grams of flour. This one, we're gonna create a sort of the roux, like we say in a kitchen. A roux will help the cheese and the beer to bond together better. So during, once we're gonna cook the Welsh Rarebit, it's not going to split. If you feel that, for example, for you, the stout or a porter is a little bit too strong or too rich, another good beer that you can use is a pale ale.
Yeah.
So I'm melting, yes.
No, then when it comes to the cheese, by the time you add the cheese, is it convenient to keep the cheeses out from the fridge to do this preparation?
Yes, Liza was going to mention now. Before you do, no, it's okay, but it's a good question actually. Every time you do a cooking with it, this one will help and speed the cooking, because sometimes if you remove this one from the fridge, it's very cold, so it takes a little bit longer. And also it's very important when you try any cheese, you have a degustation, you want the cheese, always remove your cheese at least half an hour before from the fridge before you taste, because just when it's at room temperature, all the cheese really brings all the tasting, all the organoleptic flavor in your mouth. So always try to eat and use the cheese at room temperature. So I got here my roux ready, and I'm pouring 160 ml of beer. So 160 ml, it's half bottle, so the rest you can drink it. And just now I'm cooking all my beer and flour to make it nice and thick. And after this, I'm adding 1 teaspoon of English powder mustard. This one is to give a nice kick, little bit spice, and it matches very well with the cheddar. After that, I'm adding 300 grams of grated cheese. So I use 150 grams of Montgomery and 150 grams of Lincolnshire Poacher, half and half. But actually, if you like, you can play with the dosage. And also, it would be great if you like also to put some smoked Lincolnshire Poacher or smoked Montgomery cheddar. So once I put the cheese, I'm stirring well my Welsh Rarebit, and everything is nice and getting melt together. And also I'm adding 4 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. So Worcestershire sauce, let's say it's the best match with for the Welsh Rarebit. Melting everything together.
Such a special sauce.
Yes, Worcestershire sauce is very old, actually British, let's say, sauce, and is made by malt vinegar and also anchovies. So it contains fish. It's not very fishy, but yes, it's got some anchovies. It is very, very old recipe.
It will give the add more strong umami.
Yes, umami flavor to it. Yes,
that's great. Yeah, and even the mustard powder, English mustard powder. I wonder, if the people could find it here in Italy.
They can use a Dijon mustard. Maybe just put a little bit instead of 1 teaspoon to put half teaspoon, just because otherwise it can be a little bit too strong. Because as this one is a powder, doesn't have the acidity of the Dijon mustard, for example, of normal mustard that you find in the shop.
Perfect.
So after I got here, my Welsh Rarebit is ready. Wow. Last ingredients, it's 1 egg yolk. Mix it together. And you don't need to add any extra salt because already we got all the salt from the cheeses. And
we just need to imagine all those aromas and flavors.
Yes, I have to say the smell of the beer and the cheese melt.
It's great.
It's wonderful. So I got my Welsh Rarebit ready here, and I got some toasted bread. You can use at home a slice white bread or sourdough, any bread that you got at home or that you like and you prefer. And just after that, you can spoon up your Welsh Rarebit on top of the bread. So when you do this, please don't be shy because it's good to have a nice and thick layer. Spreading all around. And this one, it goes in the oven for 10 minutes at 220 degrees or just under the salamander until nice and bubbling. And as a magic, I got here the final result.
The new kitchen time. Wow.
Yes. So as you see,
it formed a little bit of a crust.
Yes, it formed a nice, beautiful crust on top. I don't know if you can see it better from.
That's great for a Friday evening, Alessandro.
Yes, and for nice aperitivo, you can have this one.
That's great.
You change your style of aperitivo. You do more as a English style aperitivo, so you can have a nice, good beer with it and a nice Welsh Rarebit.
Well, I like it so much because I mean, seeing also the final preparation. This preparation is very traditional and very, very much related to farming. Because you have the grain from the grain from the bread, the beer, also the cereals could give these oaty notes to the preparation. The creamy from the cheese, from the dairy farms, from the cheese farmhouses is a very related to the agricultural sector
area. And then in fact this one comes from Welsh. That is really a very peasant area.
Yeah.
And this one was like a peasant food. Now it became a little bit more like a sort of posh, but before it was really what they used to have.
Yeah, it's a very countryside. And
yes.
Talking about that, I was curious to know a little bit more about you know, how is the situation on the farms? They have the farmhouse of the UK. I mean. How was it before, in the sense of there are like a new generations, young people going really through cheese making in order to support this very, very, I mean, this technique, these types of cheese that we are built from centuries and centuries with so much knowledge. And do you think that there is a new wave of people also working on that, or there are some types of cheese that are destined to disappear? And then how is the situation in these days? What you can perceive from this time?
Well, I have to say, since arriving in London, like 20 years, the cheese industry really evolved and grew year by year. And just for a few notes, before the Second World War, there were more than 50 farmhouse producers of cheddar. Nowadays, there are only 4. So you can see how big change. But I have to say, in the last year, a lot of young cheesemonger, they start to invent and create new recipe, new style. And we got, for example, in a shop, a raw right, that is a beautiful soft cheese, house cheese, wrapped with Bruce, with the things from the tree. And this is me created by a very young cheesemonger entrepreneur. And also there is a young buck that is from Northern Ireland, same recipe, sort of style of Stilton, but made with raw unpasteurized milk. So yes, the cheese industry really evolved and grew up in this, let's say, 10, 15 years. And nowadays, I think even the British people, they like more to go on like traditional, like the Montgomery cheddar, or like I mentioned as also with the West Comby or King's cheddar, that the other producer farmhouse. Lincolnshire poacher, they almost became like a regional cheese. Lincolnshire poacher, almost, it's a quite new cheese. It's in the last 40 years. Instead, the Montgomery cheddar, they used to make this cheese in their farm since 1911, so very many years ago. And at the moment, with this the problem worldwide, there is a bit of surplus of milk because unfortunately all the restaurants are closed, and this one the main revenue from the small producer, as they don't go on the big distribution. And also the other problem is all the fresh cheese, because fresh cheese is that one that are getting off before. So we try to tell our customer to start to buy fresh cheese, because this one, they are that one, the producer, after a few times, they cannot use it anymore. And also we got a problem now with the aged, because some of these producer, they don't have any more space in their cellar to keep their cheese.
It's very difficult, yeah, and it's really a shame. Um, Also, I'm thinking, how would be the exchange now on these days of, I mean, in the sense, I am amazed by the variety of cheese, the different types of cheese that there are everywhere. I mean, be honest, I'm coming from Argentina. I'm Argentinian, no? And we don't really have that such a tradition on cheese and on the variety. So when I came to Europe, it really blew my mind. I don't know if it happened to another students as well, with the variety and the knowledge and the tradition. I mean, every single cheese is a kind of piece of art, and I take it. I don't know. It takes so much time, so much knowledge and patience, and
Yes.
and even coming from maybe not such a broader origin of material, like a different kind of milk, there are just a few different kind of milk where all the variety of cheeses come from. So it is amazing. Even La Fromagerie, it is like a more a museum of cheese than a
It's
store.
exposition,
Yeah,
exposition.
exposition.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When we are full, the cheese room, we
yeah,
hold 250 type of cheese. So if you can
yeah.
imagine 250 cheese, it's a very
It's
big
incredible.
number.
So,
Yes.
and then people, also the public and people, uh, really get used to take advantage of this variety and to appreciate different kind of cheeses. I wonder how is the situation now with this exchange. I mean, telling about import export cheeses, and it was really affected on this day. What is your vision about that in the future? I mean, do you think that there is opportunity for maybe forgotten varieties, local varieties, or supporting more local producers, the local economy around cheese?
Yes, I think now people that change also the way they shop. As before, you can have any produce all around the world. In few days, you have in the shop or in the restaurant and you eat. nowadays people they try to shop a little bit locally, and also because all the frontier there's a lot of problems. So even for us to bring like produce from the continent, we got to wait a few days extra, and for fresh produce is not so great. So really we try to source our cheese as we used to do, but now even more here in UK, and we got plenty of choice. So this is not gonna be, it's not a problem. But I think nowadays, and maybe in the few years, probably people that we gonna go more on the local and try really to see what we can bring up and create, and try to revisit some cheeses, or I'm talking about all sorts of artisanal product, from cheese, beer, bread, even vegetables. Now we start to buy from small producer and small farm here in UK. So I think the mentality of the consumer we will change slightly, as the choice is gonna be a little bit, let's say, smaller, but I think it's gonna be local and it's gonna be seasonal, because of course if you start to send from far away, price is gonna be very expensive, and etc.
Yeah. I have to say, unfortunately, we don't have that much time, and from all the things we would like to talk with Alessandro. But maybe I will ask you just, and then for also for our friends attending this meeting, this meeting is recorded, so you will find again on the university webcast the recording of this video, and you can go through the ingredients of the recipe Alessandro just made. But I will ask you just a more culinary last question that it's very difficult to answer. But I will try with this a few last minutes. Thinking, if you have to prepare like a small board of cheese to taste, I don't know, with your friends, yes, or at home, yes, can you give us any advice of how many cheese is the proper quantity of variety to put, and what kind of cheeses would you put? What are the cheeses you like?
I think when you do your choice, I think there is no really, you can do as you like, because you really, it's your own taste. But I think I would suggest to have a 3, 5, 7, usually we do here. And you try to always start from a more delicate. Usually it's a goat cheese, for example, or if you don't like a goat cheese, a soft. And after going through to the last one, you're gonna start, let's say, build up this strength and the strong flavor to the end. So usually it's a soft or goat cheese. After you can go on the semi-hard cheese and aged. You can go on a wash rind cheese, let's say like an epoisse, little bit quite strong, and finishing with a blue cheese. Also, when I eat a piece of cheese, I can go quite a lot, between 100 grams or 150 easily. But if you don't want to get quite heavy, I suggest to get like, if it's just like, let's say, the cheese is the main almost finishing, 40 grams. If it's after a long dinner, even just 20 grams of cheese. Also, I would like to say about the rind. Sometimes I see people that cut too much the rind of the cheese. Please try to keep the rind in the cheese. And just scrape it up a little bit, because I think the cheese, when you try, always, for example, if you have a slice from this side to the rind, always start from the youngest, so the center of the cheese, and finishing the bite from to the rind. This only because the rind, as is aged even more than the center, is a little bit more strong and powerful. So if you really want to try a cheese, always start from the center, going to the rind of the cheese. And as I mentioned before, always remove the cheese 1 hour before. And you can always play with the flavor, but usually, like I mentioned, it's a goat, use milk, also like a pecorino, cow, aged, a little bit stronger, washed rind, and blue cheese at the end.
Okay. Okay, I don't know if our friends, do you have any special question you will want to take a little profit of this last minute with Chef Alessandro Grano? You can write. Bruce was asking if this kind of cheeses you presented today was your British customers are buying now different than before the lockdown.
Well, now at the moment, yes, we sell much more British cheese because first of all is what that we can better, we need to sort of support our local producer. So we get in stock much more of this cheese. And also because as a price wise, now the price of this cheese is still a little bit the same. Instead, that when import prices start to little bit elevating or little bit for the transportation and long time of the things. So people now, they start to really start to buy more local or British cheese.
Okay. Okay, I think it's someone was how the anchovies we are using the recipe. Actually, we are not directly anchovies. We are the
Worcestershire sauce. Yeah. So this is a sauce made already.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or is it? I don't know. In Italy, I think you can probably find Worcester sauce in Italy, and yes, it's a quite rich umami flavor sauce.
Yeah. Someone was also asking some more information about your role at the Fromagerie and if you're offering classes in addition to selling cheese and how you're operating now.
Well, I'm the group head chef, so I run the 3 restaurant here in London. And my role, first of all, is to build up the menu. But the beautiful things is here to work in La Fromagerie is probably because we work, first of all, directly to our producer supplier. So we don't have any sort of middleman. And this one talking by vegetable, cheese, the meat that I buy from a small farm up in Yorkshire that I know very well. And also I got very lucky to use our shop as my larder. So every day I come in the shop and I get all the ingredients from the shop. And this one we got some very great producer from Italy, France, Spain. And also my role is to also we have like a fresh produce. Actually in my kitchen I don't have a freezer, I just use for the ice cream. So I'm very lucky that I work all with the best ingredients that I can have. And also, yes, we do cooking class. Now for this moment we stop, but usually I do cooking class. We do also cheese tasting, and we always try to get a little bit more closer to our customer, because as a shop, a lot of people, sometimes when I walk in the shop, they ask me, oh, how can I cook this one? How can I cook that? So I try to build up some cooking class to explain people how to cook, for example, artichoke, or how to choose different type of tomato for the best different type of recipe. And and we got a very, let's say, group of customers that they are regularly come to our cooking class or cheese tasting.
I will remember that Alessandro, Chef Alessandro also have its own YouTube channel where he's uploading new recipes on these days with a different kind of cheese, using cheese on the cooking. So if you're interested, you can search and say on there. And now Bruce is asking, are the raw milk cheeses popular in La Fromagerie? What is the situation?
Yeah, we try to work mainly with raw cheese milk, as I think on the raw milk you really get the essence of the terroir, so the place where the cheese is made, because there is a lot of a process between bacteria, the air that goes inside the cheese and really to transform the cheese during the process and during the aging. So we try always to focus on raw milk cheeses. I have to say that even pasteurized cheese, if they are made well using certain step during the process, they are perfectly fine. But I think raw milk, it's more something quite unique. It really is the essence for me of the cheese himself. And both of them, they are raw milk cheeses.
Okay, I think we are reaching the time to say goodbye to everyone. Thank you so much, Alessandro Grano from
You're
Fromagerie.
welcome. Thank you everyone for attending today this chat.
Yeah.
Thank you between friends.
Yeah, thank you to the audience, to the participants. It feels so well seeing that you are there on the other side as well. So thank you, Alessandro, and I hope we can have you again at Tavola Academica for a lunch for everyone to share the lunch.
I wish you soon.
To share your knowledge about cheese and this beautiful cheese world. Thank you very much, and thank you all. See you on the next one. Keep tuned.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Ciao.